How effective, in your opinion, are these sanctions at this point on the economy? What sort of impact are they actually having on people's everyday lives inside Russia?
They have, how do I say that? They've had a very slow start. Of course, lots of sanctions. Russia became the most sanctioned country in the history of humankind in 2022. And tons of questions were, tons of sanctions were placed, all kinds of sanctions, economic, athletics, cultural, scientific, I think that a lot of them were not effective, but 2 years later, the United States started taking it seriously, okay? And in the last 6 months, say a little more, 8 months, we're seeing the effects. The secondary sanctions are right now the silent killer of Russia and its economy, and everyone in Russia starts feeling them. I'm just going to give you 2 examples. Well, 3 examples, really. It's like showcases. First of all, Russian oil trade is declining, and that is bread making of Russia. Okay, I'm not talking about natural gas. It's almost shut down, okay? But oil, that's what has been keeping Russian economy alive for all this 2.5 years. Number two, the international trade, the trade with Turkey has shut down completely. After the U.S. Secretary of State Blinken visited Turkish banks, Turkish business elites, and warned them that if they keep on doing business with Russians, then they might fall victims as well. And that's it. They just shut off Russia off their, you can't transfer money to Turkey. Therefore, you cannot buy anything from Turkey. And the Chinese started doing the same only a few weeks later, mid-February, okay? And these 3 things are really putting tremendous, I can't even say stress, tremendous damage to the economy. So they're working. They were late, but they started working pretty darn well.
I think your comment about China is interesting because I think the general perception, at least in the West, is that, if anything, the relationship between China and Russia has strengthened, and that to some degree, the reason why Putin can continue his adventurism in Ukraine is because the Chinese regime has helped the Russian economy. Is that from your perspective, is that not the case?
Mike, using this chance, being seen by many people in the USA, in the West, I have a bone to pick with the Western media. I know that a lot of people have been saying, hey, the relationship between China and Russia is strengthening because of this situation, this war with Ukraine and sanctions. But have they done any research? Have they looked at the situation a little deeper? I don't think so, because this is just on the very surface. It's wishful thinking for Russia. That's the image Russia has been portraying and projecting everywhere. Oh, we're friends with China more. We're allies. We have a military pact, military document, military union. We conduct military exercises together, joint exercises. Oh, the Chinese are buying our natural gas, and we're going to build another pipeline. We're going to double what we sell them, export our gas, and they're going to bail us out. They're going to give us all the technology. That's the Russian, not point of view, propaganda projection. In reality, China hasn't done much at all. The only thing it's been doing is producing consumer goods and exporting to Russia, but that's to the benefit of China, not to Russia. There are rumors.
That's a really good. Actually, I'm sorry, Konstantin, for interrupting, but that's a really good point because, look, frankly, the Chinese regime always acts in its own best interest, right? I mean, to be fair, that's what most nations do. China just does it better.
Always. They don't have friends. You see, Putin is trying to say, well, China is our friend. Chinese do not have friends. They have interests. Okay, and that's what the Russians fail to understand, because this myth is alive in Russia as well. Russian people also think that since the West has turned away from Russia, Russia has turned away from the West, the China is right there, waiting with arms wide open. But no, there are rumors that they supplied some military products, drones or technology, but I highly doubt that. Because you know what happens
Yeah.
the minute someone finds a Chinese drone in Ukraine shot down and gives it as a proof? Oh, China's gonna have it in forms of sanctions. Why would they risk everything, supplying? And Iran has been supplying, yes, but not China.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.